Good evening. Welcome to the Anointed Body Cleanser and Healer Aloe Vera Juice Zoom session. Thank you for attending our Zoom session tonight. We are grateful you took the time out of your schedule to be here with us tonight. The next ABC&H Aloe Vera Juice meeting will be held on November the 8th, 2024 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. First, let's go over some housekeeping rules. If you're calling in on Zoom, use the reactions button to raise your hand to speak, or you can use the chat to write your comments. To unmute, click the mute button. To mute, click the button again. If you're calling in on a cell phone, 6 is for unmute, 9 is to raise your hand. If you would like to speak, please wait to be recognized before speaking. The ABC&H team is working in the background, monitoring the raised hand and chat box. They will call on you when you're next in the queue. We will have a slide at the end of this presentation that will give you more information about the company and how to place an order. I would like to remind you, this meeting is being recorded. The information you hear tonight is not scientific medical advice and is not meant to replace any advice you receive from your healthcare professional. First, we will have words of inspiration by Mrs. Donna Wright Miller.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to honor Barbara, our co-host. Her mom transitioned recently, and just want to do a moment of silence for her mom. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I pulled some excerpts from a book that I have. It's called You Are the Blessing. And the first thing says, I know that good things happen through me, to me, and all around me. The second one says, I am a winner. The third one says, I look inside for the most powerful medicine I have, my love. And the last thing I want to leave with you is I take what I have and do as much as I can with it. So that's what I want to leave you all with tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna, for those uplifting words. Thank you. Before we get started, we would like to hear from you. Who are you? Where are you calling in from? How long have you been taking the aloe vera juice or using the topical? And if this is your first time here, being on the Zoom call with us, please let us know. Thank you. I will start it off. I am Alice Edwards, and I'm in the Washington, D.C. area in Silver Spring, Maryland. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been using the aloe vera juice since 2015. The topical and the juice.
I'm Donna Wright Miller. I live in DC. I've been using aloe vera since I met Rebecca in 2015. Me and my mom as well.
Okay, don't you all be shy. Let us hear from you.
My name is Carol. I'm from the DC area. I've been using aloe vera juice and the topical for about 2.5 years. Thank you.
Fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Will Gunn. I was introduced to aloe vera juice by my friend HB a few months ago, and I am living in Northern Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you much.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Sabrina. Hi, Alice.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. And yes, I'm from Sacramento and I've barely used it. I ordered it once and had a I don't know, I don't like the word reactions, but for lack of a better word. So I didn't keep using it, but I'm thinking of, oh, I'm so sorry, my phone's sitting right here ringing. Okay. But I've been trying to get in touch with Rebecca and wondering what's the best time, because I was thinking of ordering it again. So, but so I think I answered what I'm supposed to answer, because I wanted to give it another try, but I wanted to talk to her privately. So, okay.
All
Yes.
right. Well, thanks for being with us tonight.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you. I'll be listening more because I'm packing I have to leave town for 3 days and get up at dark 30. So while I'm listening, I'm packing to go. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, have a safe trip.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, who's next?
This is Clara Tolbert.
Hi, Clara.
And I'm in West Haven, Connecticut. Oh, I've been drinking aloe vera juice for 4 years.
Well, welcome.
Is this a
Thank you.
703 number that has a hand raised? 703-399. It begins with 703.
Okay, go ahead. 703-994-0313. Go ahead.
That was me, and
Oh,
I've
that's
spoke
Clara?
already.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Birdie Harris, but I'm listed under as Eric Wright. I've been using the Aloe Vera and the Topical for almost 3 years now, and I thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. And welcome.
Thank you.
This is Henry Brown. I've been using aloe vera for less than 2 years and the topical. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. Is this your first time being on the Zoom call with us?
Yes,
Okay, welcome.
thank you.
Okay, who's next? Okay. At this time, I would like to introduce the CEO, developer, founder of this wonderful product, Miss Rebecca Brown. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It is good to hear from all of you and to have you join this call. The whole purpose and intent is to help you help yourselves medically. When you know how the body operates, you know how to help the body. And that is the value of what we're going through. When the body pains, the body is speaking to you. Most people have no idea how to respond to the pain that the body is giving you, telling you that it needs something or it lacks something that you're not providing. So through this whole process, we will learn a lot about the body. And for those of you who have participated on previous calls and listened to the previous recordings, you will hopefully you understand exactly what our intent and our goals are in helping you. There is one thing that we will discuss tonight after you have given your testimonies, that is a great concern because a lot of people have it and don't understand what it is and what to do about it. And that is congestive heart failure. Recently, two people that I know very well just died from congestive heart failure that could have been reversed only if they would have followed certain procedures and understood what congestive heart failure is. So this is what this is all about. And it is a delight to have you all join the call and participate because it's all about us helping each other. And so I appreciate that you took the time to at least get a chance to hear and understand how we can help each other as well as helping yourselves. And Sabrina, yes, you can contact me. The best way to get in touch with me is to text me. I do play messages, but it's usually when the phone can't take any more messages. And I get this notice that I need to call people back. It's easier to text me on my cell phone and you and I can talk because I remember having a conversation with you before and it was quite a while, but time is of the essence, so we'll talk about it. And the explosion that I'm seeing among people, and with both men and women, with women it's breast cancer, with men it's prostate cancer, and it's out of control. And we need to understand what we're dealing with when we're dealing with cancer. So these are some of the things that we've talked about in the past, but we will continue to talk about them going forward because it is a dire need. The other thing that I wanted to just take the time to honor, and that is Barbara McCain, her mother. Barbara mother just transitioned about a week ago, and I ask that all of you please keep Barbara and her family in prayer. I worked closely with her mother, with Barbara during this process, but as we all know, time is of the essence, and she transitioned about a week ago, so just keep her in prayer. Okay, thank you, Alice.
Thank you. At this time, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your testimonies. If it's not testimony that you have personally, maybe it's someone that you know of that have used the juice and the topical or the juice or the topical. So we would like to hear from you at this time. No testimonies?
Well, I'll go. This is Bertie again. When I first started using the Aloe Vera, I was induced it by Barbara. And I was having pains in my leg and found out that I had a blood clot. So I had the PAD done, and then I started drinking the juice. And it's been almost 2 years since that procedure. I don't have the pain. Every time I go, my checkups are great. Naturally, I didn't tell my doctor that I was drinking the Aloe Vera, but he's amazed at how well I'm doing. And so I will continue to drink the Aloe Vera. And that's my testimony that God is still good. And we thank Miss Rebecca for her out looking for us. And we thank God for her. All right, thank you.
Thank you and amen. We definitely thank God for Miss Rebecca. Okay, who's next? Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Miss Rebecca, this is Peggy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. I was sitting here pausing because I have so many things that I've done. Miss Rebecca, what was the last thing I just called you about a few weeks ago? Was it the cold? The cold trying to settle in. My husband ended up catching a bad cold, and so I think the
Yeah.
just airborne, and so I began to have the almost like I guess a post-nasal drip, but no, or like a runny nose. And then the scratchiness, I think, due to a post-nasal drip. So I just called her. I was like, hey, I need some aloe vera juice. I'm taking 12 ounces a day to knock this out. And so within, I would say 48 hours, the symptoms had completely subsided. And then I just kind of moved out of his space, even though we was in the same house, and no more symptoms from that point. And that's just for myself. He wouldn't take the aloe, he wouldn't take the juice, so he suffered for 2 weeks, about a good 10 days, and still got some lingering side effects. So the juice does what it's supposed to do, and then not only did I take 12 ounces, I began to drop the topical into my eyes, my ears, and my nose.
All right.
Good.
Thank you. Wonderful. Your husband he didn't pay you any attention to see how quickly you recovered?
People are too concerned about, it's just like Miss Rebecca said, and I learned through my best friend actually passed last April that Miss Rebecca tried to help, who was suffering with ALS, and Miss Rebecca I got her in touch with Miss Rebecca early after the diagnosis. People are too concerned about what something tastes like.
Yeah,
But if the doctor tell you to take that nasty amoxicillin, you're gonna take that.
that's true.
And so I have made the decision. I'm not arguing with anybody. I'm not fighting with anybody. Miss Rebecca trained me well. I give them the literature. I tell them my testimonies from A to B, even down to the second degree burn. I show them the pictures. I mean, at the end of the day, I told the testimony about the second degree burn that I got, and within 10 days, I sent Miss Rebecca the pictures, and I mean, so the skin was back on. You couldn't even tell, just some slight discoloration.
Wow.
From the topical, and of course in taking on. And I started off, because it was secondary burn, I started off using what we are used to. Oh, get the antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
And within 3 days, the antibiotics was not working. The thing got infected.
Wow.
I said, oh no, let me go to what I've been doing and what I know. I called Miss Rebecca. I told her what I was doing. I said, I just was dropping the topical on and made sure it was no pulp in there though. Because the first day I got some pulp in there and it was itching really, really bad. And I didn't really want to mess with it. So I started making sure there was no pulp in it. And every day. And so I was putting it on there 2-3 times a day. leaving it to air out. I covered it when I had to, lay down or because I didn't want to, but I covered it very loosely. And within 10 days, it was gone. So I'm on the clock.
That's a
So
wonderful
I
testimony.
so I don't argue. I'm not trying to persuade. It's just like what Christ did. He gave the people the truth. They didn't want it.
Can I ask you, how did you burn yourself?
In
Please.
the oven. It was an oven burn,
Oh,
and
okay.
it was pretty nasty. I hit the top of the it was at 400 degrees, and I hit the top of the roof of the oven coming out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I stand by it. I told her if somebody tries to do something to her, the enemy can't even take you out. I'm praying to God to keep you right where you at.
That's the same thing we say all the time.
I told her, no, ain't nobody gonna mess with you. I'm on guard.
Amen. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is that it for the testimonies? Okay, so Miss Rebecca, I will turn it back over to you.
Okay. Well, for those of you that's new on this call, this whole project is about because of my condition. My testimony it's on there, but just to give you a brief understanding, I almost died from toxemia. The medical term for it is eclampsia. It is deadly if it's not treated. And to be honest with you, the doctors don't know how to treat it because I was given a death sentence. But being the type of person growing up in a spiritual environment and a household, I was always told when man makes a statement, God has to confirm it. And when God hasn't confirmed it, that means the capability of moving forward lies with me. And I had to put some things in place, which was through prayer, asking God for help. And by short, my testimony simply was this condition paralyzed me from my neck down for 3 months. I was in a coma for 3 months, and I was what they considered an involuntary drug addict for 3 months, which meant I became addicted to Demerol. If any of you know what Demerol is, it was injected into my bloodstream every 3 hours for 3 months. So I literally was a drug addict. And I made a decision, as sick as I was, that condition and the treatment couldn't continue. I had to make some choices, and I choose not to go forward with that. I left the hospital, went home, and prayed and asked God for help. And He did. And the help that He gave me is what I'm sharing with you. And I would say to you, my entire testimony is out there. You can listen to it. It's about an hour and 15 minutes. But let me just say this to you from my personal experience in taking this stuff from 1982 to current. I have not had a cold. I don't take any medication. And this past June, I was 74 years old. And I will say to you, what God did for me, He will do it for you. The only thing you have to do is trust, believe, and have faith, because that's what God operates on is faith. And if you can do those things, you can be healed. No doubt about it. I don't care what man says, because a lot of times we're told that we can't say we are healed. That's not true. When you know that God has healed you, it is up to you to share with others what happened to you, because you never know who's suffering the same ailments, the same issues, the same problems that you have. So that's why I'm sharing with you what happened to me. And like I said, it works. I am a living witness. I am a testimony of it. But consistency is the key. I will get people calling me saying, well, I can't handle the taste. I used to try to accommodate that type of nonsense, but what I decided was this. If you understand and go back to the Bible on this, go to Numbers chapter 4, verse 6. If God did something for you and your taste buds can't handle it, the only thing I can suggest to you is this. You have two choices, life and death. If you use this product, you can choose life. If you don't, you've chosen death. So the question I have, if drinking this is too bitter to choose life, then when you encounter death, how bitter is death? It's just that simple. It might not sound nice, but it's the truth. Because we train our bodies with all of the junk and garbage. And now when the body is in trouble and asking for help, we say, oh, we can't take, that doesn't taste good. Okay, that's fine. Let me tell you this. One day you will wish that you have made a different choice. I've seen it too many times. People wait too late. When the body can no longer fight for you, it will succumb to the illness, to the disease, to the sickness. So hopefully you'll get to the point where you can get past what it tastes like. Look at the benefits of what you're getting. So hopefully that will help you. One of the things that I want to talk to you briefly about is congestive heart failure. That's a serious problem. Several people that I know are suffering from congestive heart failure. One of them transitioned from it. Always know this. Your heart is your lifeline. And if your heart is in trouble, your entire body is in trouble. And for those of you who don't understand what congestive heart failure is, it is a serious condition. And what it means, the heart's inability to pump blood effectively and efficiently. Okay? What happens, the blood is returning to the heart faster than the heart can pump it out. And that is what causes it to be congested, because the blood is coming in too fast and the heart can't pump it out as fast as it comes in, because the heart is pumping the blood out to all parts of the body, which means certain parts of your body is deprived of blood because the heart is weak. It's in trouble. It's having problems. It cannot pump it properly. And these are the kind of things that aloe vera addresses. Not only does it take care of issues that you already have, it detects when the heart is running into problems. And it works to try to build the heart to the point where the heart can work normally. So it's a preventative measure as well. But if you don't drink it, it can't detect where your heart is having problems to try and get the heart through the difficulty that it's running into. The muscles of the heart is not able to contract properly. The heart now is considered having mechanical issues, which means the heart is suffering from the ability to pump the blood that comes in out as fast as it comes in. Because as the blood flow into the heart, it's supposed to be removed so that the rest of the body can be fed, because that's what feeds the body and the cells, the blood. That's why if you notice when you go to the doctor, the first thing they do to find out what's wrong with you is to take blood. That's because the blood goes throughout the body. Wherever there is a problem, the blood will detect it. And that's what aloe vera does. When you drink it, it gets into your bloodstream. Wherever the blood goes, that's where aloe vera goes. That's when it detects where you having issues. And it will, at that point, start to address those issues. However, don't expect it to do it overnight. It does it gradually, because your condition didn't occur overnight. And the aloe vera works with the body, not against the body. Because if it does it overnight, it could put your body in shock. And because it is designed to help you, it is not going to put your body in shock to hurt you. So what we have to get to understand is how the body talks to us. Because when the body is in trouble, it speaks to you. The question is, are you familiar enough with the body to understand the language that it's speaking? And if you're not, that's when you run into problems. The amount of blood that fills the heart becomes more limited, which is a problem when it comes to meeting the demand for oxygen to other parts of the body. That's why a lot of times a person that has congestive heart failure will also have a problem with oxygen, because the blood gives oxygen. But remember, it's in the heart, can't pump it out fast enough, so the rest of the body can't receive the oxygen. And that's why you find a lot of people using these oxygen machines and oxygen tanks, because there's a deficiency in the blood flow coming from the heart to provide the body with oxygen. And with some of the symptoms that you will encounter is shortness of the breath. That's because of the lack of oxygen. You will wake up short of breath at night. You'll have chest pains. You'll have heart palpitations. You become fatigued, again, because of the lack of oxygen. And a lot of people have this and don't realize it. Swelling in your ankles, legs, and abdomen. That's a sign of congestive heart failure, because the blood can't be pumped out. So there is excess buildup of fluid, and it settles in the body. It's all over the body, but the signs that you will detect is in your ankles, your legs, and your abdomen. And that causes a person to gain weight. Another sign is you need to urinate while resting at night, constant urination. Every time you get back into bed, it's time to go to the bathroom. Those are signs of congestive heart failure. A dry, hacking cough is a sign of congestive heart failure. You will have a bloated and hard stomach because of the buildup of fluid. And the body needs to get rid of the fluid, and that's why the doctor will put you on fluid pills to help flush the body. But that does not fix the problem with the heart. You have a loss of appetite, upset stomach, where you become nauseated. So these are signs that your health is failing. These are signs that your heart is having problems. And if this is not dealt with over the period of time, it gets worse. And when it gets worse, the person that just expired in August, the heart was pumping so hard, it just gave out. It just stopped because it's overworked. And then at that point, your blood pressure starts to drop. Low blood pressure is just as bad as high blood pressure. It's just as bad. So, what causes congestive heart failure? Coronary artery disease, because that will cause a heart attack. When the blood is not operating and moving throughout the heart properly, you will have a heart attack. It's just that simple. The heart sometimes have issues at birth, which is what they call congenital heart disease. But these things should be detected at birth and when you're younger. And again, these are some of the things that constantly drinking the aloe will fix. And you should listen to the testimony from Michael's sister, who had strokes and heart attacks because of her bad heart condition. But continuously drinking the aloe, it repaired the damage. And her doctors can't figure it out. So you have to be in charge of your health. You have to be responsible for your health. The doctors can assist you, but they can't heal you. And that's just a fact. Diabetes causes congestive heart failure. High blood pressure causes congestive heart failure. Kidney disease causes congestive heart failure. If your body mass is higher than 30, that causes congestive heart failure. Tobacco and recreational drug use causes congestive heart failure. Alcohol causes congestive heart failure. Medications such as cancer drugs, which is chemotherapy, which is chemo, causes congestive heart failure. So understand what I'm trying to say to you. I don't care what medication you take and what it's for. They all have side effects. Are you willing to risk the disease you have and creating another disease than simply drinking what God gave us. It has no side effects. Absolutely none. I drink this stuff twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, every day. I have no problems. And so when I hear people talk about they can't handle it, then the only thing I can say, keep doing what you're doing and see how you handle that. Because I can assure you, it's not going to come to a good end. I can assure you that. And the tragedy that is upon us now, and I get calls all the time. Cancer is on the rise. With men, it's in the prostate. With women, it's in the breast. You have got to fight this disease. I did research on this stuff for 8 years, and let me just tell you this. If you don't fight it, it will get you. And here is how aloe fights cancer. Let me just say this and see if most of you understand what cancer really is. Cancer is, if you go back to science when you took it, a cell multiplies and divides. And once it divides, it performs a function. And after that function is performed, that cell is supposed to die because the body is continuously generating new cells. But what happened, the cell won't die. It will not divide, but it multiplies into a tumor. And because it's a part of your body, when I hear that the doctor say he can cut it out, that's not true. You would have to cut up the whole body because your whole body is cells. When I hear them say they can burn it out, that's not true. You have to burn up the whole body. When they give you chemo, their goal is this, to isolate the cancerous cell and shut off the blood supply because it feeds from blood. And instead of isolating it, shutting off the blood supply, they destroy all of your good cells. And the body can't fight if you're destroying it. And that's what chemo does. What aloe does in contrast to that, it isolates the cancer cell and it shut off all blood supply to the cancer cell. And understand this, anything you can't feed, it can't live. And a cancer cell is a living organism and it's fighting to live. And once the aloe shuts off the blood supply, if you don't feed it, it will die. Not only will it die, it will be removed from the body. It will not go into remission. Because if you know anyone that has cancer that's been in remission, when it comes out, it is aggressive. Very, very aggressive because it knows you're trying to destroy it. And so it's going to fight to live. Once the aloe shuts off the blood supply, if you change your diet and don't eat anything with sugar, which feeds cancer, don't eat anything with dairy, which feeds cancer, and stay away from red meats, which also feeds cancer, you will find yourself ridden yourself of cancer because now you have isolated the cancer cells so it can't metastasize, so your body has the ability and the strength to fight back. These are the kind of things that you need to know and understand how you can help yourself. Chemo is not always the answer. Radiation is not always the answer. There's very few people that you know took either chemo or radiation and is still alive. It just doesn't work. It's just that simple. But you have to be willing to invest in knowing how to take care of yourself. Okay? I hope that helps some of you. So Alice, I'm turning it back over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Rebecca. While you were talking, I decided I should have another 8 ounces. I mean, not 8 ounces, 4 ounces, which will make 8 ounces. Oh, thank you very much. You always have such great information for us. I really appreciate it. It's really scary.
Yeah, let me just say one other thing. For those of you that take it, I'm not sure how you're taking it, but let me just say this. The one that you take in the morning, it protects your body all day. When you take it at night, it protects your body even more at night because the body is resting. And so I suggest that when you take it just before you go to bed, because that means it's working throughout the entire night. So your body is not without protection. Because you have to understand, most of us don't eat properly. You never know what is living inside of you. You just don't know that. Whatever is living inside of you, I can assure you, the aloe vera will remove it by destruction. Okay? Okay, Alice.
Thank you.
Alice, you got 2 hands raised, Sabrina
Okay.
and Carol.
Yes.
So Sabrina?
Yes.
Uh,
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. I turn off my video, turn it on. Yes, my question, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
One, is there any condition under which one might not should take it? Or, and when I'm hearing you, it sounds like any and all conditions you can take it, but I'm asking, have you encountered any time where there's an exception to that? And can you, one, take too much aloe vera? So those are my 2 questions.
Okay.
Can you
Okay. Well, first of all, it's all natural.
Mhm.
So there is no side effects to it.
Okay.
It is designed to help you and not hurt you. God would not give us anything that will hurt us. The
Mhm.
goal is to put you in a position so you can help yourself and help your body. So the answer to that is no. Okay. The second question, understand this. Aloe vera, if you study it or know anything about it, it is one of the most potent plants. Just like it helps you, if you don't know what you're doing and try to use it, it will hurt you. It will literally destroy your cells if it's not handled right. So yes, it can hurt you if you don't know what you're doing. That's why when you deal with aloe vera, you have to know the diameter of the cell so that the mixture of the purified water and aloe is adequate, because if not, you'll destroy yourself. That's how potent this stuff is. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people will tell me, oh, I eat it in my salad. I wouldn't suggest that every day. I would not suggest that every day.
And what about somebody, because I was growing it, but I've been hesitant to cut a leaf and, because I know some people that take the leaf and juice it and drink that.
And that's what I'm saying. A lot of these people,
Mhm.
if they keep that process up over a period of time, will
Mhm.
destroy their cells. If
Okay.
they don't mix it properly.
That's why I'm asking, because I suggested to a friend of mine and he had cancer and it just sent him to oblivion. So he didn't do that anymore. And he ultimately transitioned. His was in the later stages, but because I do know quite a bit about it, but I have to say, I mean, I'm not the expert. I'm sure you've done a lot more research. So I'll talk to you about me, but that's what
Okay.
kind of made me hesitant, because I'm like, well, I need to know what I'm doing.
Yes, you do. I strongly encourage you to know what you're doing or don't do it.
Mhm. Okay. I'll
Okay.
be texting you so that we can have a conversation.
Of course.
Okay, and I appreciate you, Rebecca. I appreciate you, Alice, too.
Thank you, and we appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Carol?
Hi, everyone. Miss Rebecca, you just explained to me what possibly caused my teacher's death in 2010. Everything you described, she had congestive heart failure. And I had a client today that has the same symptoms. Actually, you met him maybe a year or so ago. The other thing I want to say is one day I took the card that you give out with your product,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just going through it and realized how many things that have disappeared from my life because of the aloe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll name two, but it's maybe 10 on here or
Mm-hmm.
more. One is I wear my hair natural, and so about 7 to 10 days, my scalp will usually itch, which triggers me to wash it. So when I started taking the aloe, I just kept thinking, what? I haven't washed my hair. What's going on? And I'm thinking, so it stopped my scalp from itching. So I had to circle, I think it's dandruff,
Yeah.
dry skin. I have, my scalp doesn't itch anymore. So I have to make myself wash my hair once a week, or I'll look up and it's 3 weeks, which is way too long. The other thing is sometimes I'm going through something with family members, and sometimes it's overwhelming and I get depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I notice when I take the aloe, it goes into what I call the proper perspective of pray for them and release them.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when some of those days when I skip, I go back into that, what happened? How
Mm-hmm.
did this happen? When is this going to, I just go into this needless worry. So
Mm-hmm.
those are the main things. And then I'm noticing my daughter, when she sometimes takes it, she said, I don't know what this does, but when I take it, I get the best sleep at night.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because it's working on healing her.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I had explained, I guess maybe last year, I was experimenting with the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the external and I strained it and I started putting it in one eye.
Mm-hmm.
I had a doctor's eye appointment up at Johns Hopkins before I did the eye drops. And then I got the prescription, when I got my prescription filled. I'm fussing with the people because the glasses were too strong. But by then I had started using the drops. So I had to go back to Johns Hopkins to finish up some further tests.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, check the glasses. She said, yes, this is the right prescription that I wrote. I said, well, this is too strong. I have it in writing. When she checked my eyes again, she said, I don't understand this. She said the eyesight changes throughout the day. She went through that whole dialogue. And she said, I don't understand this. So she corrected the prescription, which ended up being readers.
Mhm.
It
Wow.
changed from the astigmatism disappeared. The other stuff that I don't understand, I looked, that's, oh my God, these are readers. So I asked her, I said, do you want to know what I did? And she looked at me kind of funny. And I said, well, I'm going to tell you what I did. I put some aloe vera in my eyes. And she threw her hands up and she said, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So, and another person, you could see it was like his cataracts,
Mhm.
scheduled for cataract surgery. And again, I only experimented with one eye. So by the time they got to his surgery, the doctor told him his cataract, I don't know what that surgery entails, but he said all he had to do was move it. It came loose. I don't know what that means.
It
But
detached it.
yes. So the second eye, they had scheduled the second one so fast, I guess because the first one was so easy. I had not put aloe vera in the second eye.
Mhm.
And they had a rough time getting that out of there. And there was some damage done.
Mhm.
So he had to go to another doctor in the same hospital to check for something. I think it tore something. I'm not sure.
The retina.
Yeah. So anyway, but I would suggest that you all take the card and look at each the medicinal uses, the list of some conditions that are cured, and you'd be surprised that you're going to run into something that you used to have, and circle the things that you no longer have a problem with. I did go to the doctor a couple of weeks from getting a bite. I wanted to make sure it wasn't Lyme's disease. So they're asking me these questions. What medications are you on? I said none. And they say what illness is none. I'm thinking this is pretty good. And I'm thinking, and so the guy looked at my leg to bite. He said, well, no, it doesn't look like it, but take a blood test. So of course it came back negative for Lyme's disease. And also I have a lot of what do you call it? Nutritional stuff around the house. That stuff is sitting there now. All I'm doing is aloe. So it's like, okay, what do I start throwing this stuff away or what? So anyway, just maybe asking you all to look at the card to see things that you don't realize that no longer bothers you on that card, such as joint pains or pimples or just different things that may be on the card that you know that you used to have a problem with and there's no longer problems. Thank you.
As a matter
Thank you, Carol. Thank you very much.
As
You're
a matter of
Yeah,
fact,
you,
Carol, was
Yes.
two of your well, it's actually one of your clients, the Zachary and his mother.
Oh, yes.
She finally got in touch with me, and you know the history and the story of Zachary.
Yes.
Well, it has made a big change in Zachary. Because from what she told me, Zachary had a heart transplant at 3 months.
Yes.
And he had a kidney transplant at what, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes.
And he's on kidney dialysis and he's only 31 years old.
Yes.
And so she and I met and we talked, and now Zachary is seeing tremendous change.
Yes.
Tremendous change. And when he goes to dialysis now, before when he used to go, he was sluggish because you know how they recycle the blood and
Yes.
take it out because that wears and tears on the body. And he'd be so tired, he didn't know what to do. So she said he would come home and lie down and, was just limbo and stuff. So now when Zachary is finished with his dialysis, he's up at the chair and bouncing. And the people in dialysis are confused because this is not the same Zachary that they're used to seeing.
Yes.
To seeing him with no energy and barely surviving. And now he runs in energetic, he leaves out energetic.
Yes.
So they are thoroughly confused by Zachary's behavior. And there are two other ladies that was met through Zachary, and they called me. One of them, she had to quit her job for dialysis, and her counts were up to 12. Okay. Now her creatinine was up to 12. She's been taking this about a month. It's down to 9.
Wow.
And the other one that is taking it, she doesn't go when she's scheduled. She goes when she wants to.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And anybody that knows anything about dialysis, if you really are having a problem with your kidneys and you don't go, the toxins will build up and kill you.
Wow.
For someone to not go to dialysis and still go on with life as usual, that simply says this aloe vera is rebuilding the damage that was done to her kidneys.
Wow.
And eventually she'll be off of dialysis.
Wow.
And so just understand this. Anything God put his hands on doesn't have a choice. It has to work.
Okay.
It doesn't have a choice. And for a lot of you who are taking supplements, understand something. If you are taking supplements, you don't know how much the body is needing of the supplements. You could be oversaturating the body. And if that's the case, aloe vera is going to flush it out. Because if the body is inundated with these supplements, you're harming your body. And a lot of people think they are helping, but that's not always the case.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay. Yes.
But if you drink it, it's going to flush the system and give the system exactly what it needs. But the majority of you should always do this. Drink at least a gallon of water in a 24-hour period. Because a lot of people are sick because they don't drink water. And if your body weight is 75% water and you're losing water, but you're not drinking it, your body can't function properly. And therefore, you will end up sick. There's no other way to put it. For people that will say, I don't like water, how could you not like something that your body is 75% of it? That phrase never made sense to me. And for people that say that, I often wonder, do they understand the body? And it tells me they do not. And anything you don't understand, you don't know how to take care of it. Okay?
Okay. I have a question. My mother in July turned 98.
Wow.
What
So-
a blessing. What a blessing.
Yes. And so what I want to do is get her to take aloe vera. She's dealing, I don't think it's really Alzheimer's or dementia. She's very dehydrated. So my question is, if I can get my family to get the aloe in her, then the next problem is getting her to drink water. So I don't know how to influence that delicate.
Well, have them mix the aloe with the water.
Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah, because she definitely needs, because dehydration will kill you.
Okay.
Because the body can't, it doesn't have the liquids to operate, so the body shuts down.
Yeah, I saw the picture they did have to call the ambulance. This was after her 98th birthday. And she was just listless. And I knew she was dehydrated.
Yep,
so they gave her an IV. On that third day, she started talking. Her skin color came back. She started feeding herself. And that was just with that IV.
Yep, it's because dehydration. Look, the body has no fluids to operate.
Right.
Okay.
And also that's why a lot of people are constipated. It's because they're not drinking enough water.
Exactly.
Right.
People have heart attacks because they don't drink. If your blood is liquid, if you don't drink water to keep that liquid flowing, you will have a heart attack. It's just that simple. And I don't know any doctor that tells people to drink enough water. That's not one of their prescriptions.
Mm.
And it should be. Okay.
Okay. Carol, you were talking about depression. And just before this Zoom meeting, I was on a class, one of my classes. And the doctor was talking about children from 10 years old to 23-year-old to 23. They see a 25% rise in suicides from 2000 until today. And he was saying it's because of social media. And then this other doctor came on and said social media may be playing a part in it, but the real issue is the antidepressants that you're giving these kids.
Okay.
So that's why they're killing themselves. And so you talked about depression, made me think about the class that I was just on.
I knew a lady years ago, they had her on Prozac. Sometimes she would not take it and her weight would blow up. But then when she would take it, she would get violent. So I know it's something to that medicine where they have those swings. I don't know. I don't like taking medicine. So that, and I want to thank you, Mrs. Rebecca. Thank you. And thank you, Clara, for introducing me to Miss Rebecca. Because of her, it made life so much easier.
That's great.
Well, let me just say this to you. And I'm a staunch believer in the body. As you know, God designed it to heal itself. There's two things that we have to do for the body to function at ease, and that is to keep the body cleansed. And if you think about it literally, every day on the outside of the body, you take a bath or a shower to cleanse the inside of the body, the outside of the body. But a person needs 2 to 3 meals per day, every day. And you don't expel all the food, the body don't use all the food, and it's sitting in the cavity of the body. How do you rid yourself of it? That's why people are sick, because you can't cleanse it. And that's what causes diseases, because you have all of this garbage sitting in the body, and wherever there is garbage, there are parasites. So you got living organisms eating away at this. And that's the whole purpose of aloe. It flushes all of it out. The most of you who've tried aloe vera, what you found when you first take it, it sends you to the bathroom.
Yes.
Immediately. Because it's cleansing the system. It's ridding the system of all the backup, of all of the garbage and gook that's been sitting in the body. A couple people said to me, "Oh, I can't take it because it sends me to the bathroom." I've never heard anything so ridiculous. But if that's what you choose to do, that's what you do. Okay? Aloe vera does another thing that you just talked about. It is called holistic for a reason. It adjusts and protects the body physically, mentally, and spiritually. So for people who are having hormonal imbalances, because that's what causes depression, it will balance their hormones so it rids them of that issue and they don't need all of these drugs. That's why it's called holistic. It takes the body, the soul, and the mind, everything together. And it addresses all of it. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sabrina, your hand was up.
I would like to say something else.
Okay.
There's a client I introduced to you last year. She couldn't recently, again, she couldn't poop for about a month.
Mm-hmm.
And she called me recently again. It was the same issue she had last year when she met you down at I think that's called Pentagon Row.
Yeah.
So she just, she had to cancel her flight. She was going out of the country. And I said, you had the same problem before. Call Miss Rebecca and get some aloe. She kept skipping the subject. She said, well, I bought some aloe from Whole Foods. I said, that doesn't work. I kept bringing up your name. She kept skipping over the subject. So it's kind of funny the way this panned out. I said, well, there's one lady, she had been to the emergency room 6 times last year, 3 times this year. She's had a colonoscopy, something I think it's a GI, something where they put a camera down in you. She's MRI, a lot of stuff, blood tests, couldn't find anything. So I could hear the desperation. I said, okay, there's only one other lady I know that can find out what's going on you, Dr. Parker, Allison Parker. Some of you all may know her. So I take her over there a couple of weeks ago, and she's full of parasites.
Mm-hmm.
Full of parasites.
Exactly.
And so she gave her some stuff. And at the bottom of one of those pages, it says, Mrs. Rebecca Brown, the aloe for aloe. I didn't say one word. I saw her. She was reading the paper. I was reading my paper. She didn't say one word. So I'm thinking to myself, right back to the aloe.
It's a cleanser. And
yeah.
Go ahead, Carol.
And for the parasites.
Yeah. Understand this. Cleanliness, bacteria cannot live in it. That's what aloe vera does. Anytime a bacteria is a living organism, so it has to feed. If you present any living organism with an environment that it has nothing to feed on, it dies. It has to. And that's the environment that aloe produces, cleanliness. Now, if you don't, think about this. Bacteria, sickness, and disease love what we love, sweets and junk. So when you feeding your disease, you can't get rid of it. Anything you feed, you can't get rid of it. When you feeding your disease, you're starving the body. And that's when the parasites come in. They will always live where there is garbage. I mean, I don't know how clearer to make it. It's just that simple. You understand?
Yes.
I think we've gotten into that trap. Is an old song. It goes, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down in a most delightful way. But it's actually a dose of poison. But our medicine now, everything has sugar coated.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is sugar coated. And if it doesn't taste sweet, people don't want to take it.
And that's what's leading to bad health and death.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't know how clearer to make it. I can't tell you something that's not true. Aloe vera is bitter. The bitterness is what's healing you. So when you say it's too bitter, then what you're saying, you don't want to be healed. And if you don't want to be healed, it's nothing I can do about it. That's a choice you made. And if you make that choice, I have to honor that. I don't appreciate it and I don't like it because to see you destroy yourself, but I have to accept it. You understand?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We have Clara.
Yes. Okay. I'm just listening and I was just wondering, but I think you, Miss Rebecca, you answered the question. Some people, it appears, get healed quickly and some take longer. So does it have to do with the cleanliness of the body or?
Yes.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
depends on how much bacteria and backed up foods you have lying in the intestines. And understand, you have 4 intestines. And so
Yes.
if they're all backed up, then your cleansing process will take longer. If you're the type of person that eats a lot of meats, for example, and what most people don't understand, it takes meat 3 to 7 days to properly digest. And guess what? It doesn't digest, it decays. So the body can't use it. So it's sitting in the intestines as it decays, and wherever there is decay, there is parasites, because that's what it lives on. And so you take a person that eat meat every meal, it's going to take longer for that person to become cleansed because of all of this backed up decay. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
And so a person
Yeah.
like that, I would suggest in taking, instead of 8 ounces, that person needs to take about 12 ounces. And
Yeah.
it should be stronger than the regular maintenance amount. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Miss Rebecca.
Yeah.
At this time, we're going to close the meeting for tonight. If you have, you can always email Miss Rebecca with your questions at abch.avjuice@gmail.com. Or you can call her at 202-556-3181. And for the people that live in the DMV area, you can pick up your aloe. It's at Martin Luther King Avenue Southeast and Elm Street from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. Miss Rebecca, I will turn it over to you for the closing remarks.
Okay. It was a pleasure speaking to all of you. The only thing that I ask of you is to get to know your body. Because at the end of the day, your body is a gift from God to you. And it's good to have the doctor assist you, but when it comes down to being accountable, God is not going to ask the doctor about you and how you take care of the body. He's going to ask you. In other words, you should be a good steward to the body. Because anything that's given from God to us, it's a gift. And if you abuse it, there are consequences. And I suggest you can't say you love God whom you've never seen, but you live with your body every day and neglect it. So you can't say you love yourself. Anything you love, you're going to take care of it. So I plead with you, while you still have the opportunity, take good care of the gift that God entrusted you with. Because one day you have to be accountable to Him about that gift. Thank you all very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, and good night to all of you. Have a great weekend.
Yes.
And we will see you back here November the 8th at 8 p.m. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
I should be able to sign off. Why am I being able to sign off?